We've been talking about numerical summaries of data, and for the next few segments we're going to see whether we can summarize a quantitative variable by just one number, one informative number. And a natural question to ask is, well, I've got this variable and it's got a distribution. Where is that distribution located? On the number line, roughly where is it based? So let's take a look at a histogram, and there's a histogram. Now these are the lengths of eggs, so from the narrow tip of the egg to the broader tip, of a bird that nests by the shore of the San Francisco Bay. It's a tiny little bird, look, 34 millimeters for the egg. It's a tiny little bird. And here's its distribution, and what we want to do is to see if we can give one single number that gets to the heart of the distribution. So where is this based? Well, it seems silly to say that it's based around here at the end or equally at this end. Rather, you want to say that it's based somewhere here in the middle. Now that word middle you've seen before. You know one measure of location, and that's the median. That's the halfway point of the data. You've met that before. So here's a histogram again with this red line is the median, happens to be 31.4 millimeters, and that's not very surprising. It certainly visually seems believable that the area to the left of the red line is equal to the area to the right of the red line. So the median is a commonly used measure of location. There's another one that's less commonly used but is easy to think about, so let's talk about it anyway. And that is the most popular value in the data, the value that has the highest frequency. And as an example, let's go back and take a look at those test scores that we started the last section with. These were test scores in a graduate course that I taught not so long ago. And you'll recall that the scores are 48, 14, 59, 63, 63, 63, and so on. And these figures in red show the scores that occurred most frequently. There was 148, there was 159, but there were 3 63s. 370s and 395s. I don't see 4 of anything, do you? No, not 4 of anything. So the most popular ones were these three, 63, 70, and 95. And those would all be called the mode. If you take a look at the picture a different way, so here is something that looks like a very sticky histogram, a stick here, and so on. Each stick represents one student, and so here's the student who scored 48, here's the 59, and so on. And the 3 tall red sticks are the 3 modes. Now, on the one hand, this is easy to define and easy to pick off. On the other hand, you start wondering, is it really informative? I mean, does it really matter that there were 3 70s rather than 4? You know, if you look closely, you will start to feel that there is actually too much detail in this picture. We are losing the main shape of the distribution because we are focusing on every single point. We're missing the wood for the trees. The main shape of the distribution is better seen here. The shape sort of goes up and comes down like that. And I said goes up and comes down, but I sort of went to the side and came back. So why don't we put this diagram the right way up like that. There's your distribution of scores, 48, 59, and so on, and there's the 100. And it goes up and comes down like that with one peak just around here. And so when you see the word mode in statistics, you don't often see it as just the most frequent value, but you see it in this word unimodal, one mode, one peak in the distribution. We will spend quite some time studying unimodal distributions. Of course, there are bimodal distributions, two modes, or multimodal. But the unimodal distribution is the first thing to try to understand.